This podcast is an invitation to feel and experience the souls of famous old Hollywood homes and to have an in-depth journey to the areas where they're located through interviews with longtime residents. Either you're a fan of old Hollywood in Los Angeles, planning to have a vacation, or, an even bigger step, considering a certain area for your future home. This is your opportunity to receive valuable information and insightful advice you won't find anywhere else.
Hello, and welcome to my podcast. Are you in the mood for California? Today, we'll get a glimpse of the captivating history of the people who have shaped Los Angeles, followed by an interview with wonderful Susan Pomeranz.
For me, LA, it's like, when you're in a really stuffy room and you open up a window and you can breathe, it's like, it's that kind of feeling for me because it's so creative, it's so open-minded, it's got, tons of opportunity and choices, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So it feels like, I can breathe and I can, just be who I am, that kind of feeling.
Masha Korpacheva is a California-based realtor and a member of the National Association of Realtors in Los Angeles. She's an advocate for selling and buying homes with soul and practicing mindfulness in real estate. With master's degrees in spiritual psychology and linguistics, Masha brings all of her skills to work with her clients. An intuit and empath, she has touched many lives with her outstanding ability to see beyond the visible and helping to come to better understanding of issues and their resolutions. An adventurous world traveler, from climbing Mount Kilimanjaro in Tanzania to exploring the Galapagos Islands, Masha has a particular passion for the City of Angels. Having landed in this paradise and adopted it as her home, she's been sharing old Hollywood stories since 2007. In the mood for California, feel the soul of old Hollywood.
Are you ready for that glimpse now? Moving to a new city is always an adventure, but Los Angeles, that's a whole different ballgame. This sprawling, sun-soaked metropolis can be overwhelming, but what truly ties Angelinos together is their shared stories and experiences. Picture this. You are at a weekend brunch, chatting with newfound friends over avocado toast with mimosas. Maybe you're on a hike with your dog, breathing in the crisp air as you navigate the trails of Runyon Canyon. Or perhaps you're at a swanky industry dinner party, marveling at the mid-century modern home of someone whose job you can barely comprehend. Conversations here often turn to the city's rich history, and knowing a bit about it can make you feel right at home. Before you know it, you'll be the one sharing tidbits about the Hollywood sign over late-night pastrami Reuben sandwich with signature pickles at Cantor's Deli on Fairfax. The allure of Los Angeles has always been tied to its promise of reinvention and boundless sunshine. As the city Americanized in the late 19th century, boosters, many of whom were recent transplants themselves, began selling what we now call the California Dream. Publications like Land of Sunshine touted Southern California's Mediterranean climate as a haven for those looking to escape harsh winters or recover their health. By the 1880s, people from all over, including the Midwest, were flocking to LA. Among them were Harvey and Dada Wilcox, the founders of Hollywood, drawn by the promise of a better life and the soothing climate. Long before Malibu became synonymous with luxury rehab centers, Los Angeles was dotted with sanitariums and health resorts. These places often offered little more than tender, loving care, but many who came to recover decided to stay, captivated by the perpetual sunshine and easy living. Los Angeles' appeal is as diverse as its population. The city, originally inhabited by indigenous tribes like the Chumash and Tongva, saw an influx of settlers from Spain and Mexico, followed by gold prospectors, land speculators, laborers, and oil barons. Each wave of newcomers added to the city's unique tapestry. By the time the Southern Pacific Railroad linked LA with the rest of the United States in 1881, the city was ready for its next transformation. One of the most significant influxes of people came during the gold rush. The gold may have been in Northern California, but the riches of the Los Angeles area lay in its fertile lands and burgeoning agriculture. By the early 20th century, the city had also become a hub for the oil industry, thanks to figures like Edward Doheny, whose discoveries led to a booming economy. Hollywood's rise as the filmmaking capital of the world began with filmmakers like David Ward Griffith, who were attracted by the region's mild weather and low production costs. But it was Cecil B. DeMille who gave a boost to the city. His 1914 film, The Squaw Man, was created as an experiment to validate DeMille's belief that a compelling film hinges on a strong narrative. With a budget of $40,000, the film grossed an impressive $350,000, marking a significant success. This triumph catapulted Hollywood, originally a quiet farming community, into a bustling epicenter of the film industry, transforming the tranquil town into a cinematic El Dorado. By the 1920s, Los Angeles had blossomed into the epicenter of the entertainment industry, magnetizing dreamers from around the world. Carpenters, cooks, seamstresses, and myriad other professionals converged in the city, each contributing their skills to the burgeoning film world. Alongside them came actors, producers, and directors, all eager to weave their tales into the fabric of Hollywood's golden era. Surviving and building life in Los Angeles is no easy feat. It demands resilience and determination. Yet, despite the challenges, Los Angeles still stands as a shining beacon of hope and opportunity. As of 2024, the city of Los Angeles is home to approximately 3.8 million people, with the greater metropolitan area bustling with 12.5 million residents. In this dynamic environment, dreams are not just pursued, they're realized. Here, amidst the relentless pursuit of success, many find not just a way to survive, but to truly thrive. Whether you are drawn to the entertainment industry, the tech boom, or simply the allure of endless sunshine, Los Angeles invites you to embrace its vibrant spirit and step into the best version of yourself. Remember, it's never about competing with others, but about reaching for your own personal excellence and writing your own unique chapter in this ever-evolving story. And here we are. Welcome to Los Angeles. I'm so delighted to have Susan Pomeranz here with me. Through 40 years of being a marriage and family therapist, Susan knows there are no cookie-cutter therapies that can be applied overall to human beings. She draws from a vast array of skills and has been trained in cognitive behavioral therapy, the neurobiology of addiction, Gestalt Therapy, art and movement therapy, Psychoneuroimmunology, the mind-body connection, Mindfulness, as well as hold certifications in yoga, Tai Chi, and Qigong. She works with adults and specializes in life transitions, stress reduction, removing creative blocks, helping caretakers achieve balance, as well as addictions in behaviors such as attachments to food, negative thinking, social media, and unhealthy relationships. Her life is dedicated to helping people create joyful, loving, and fulfilled lives. This is her purpose and deepest passion. Susan believes in the human spirit and in everyone's natural ability to heal themselves. Please check out Susan's websites, susanpomeranz.com and the holistic-counseling.center/holistic-therapists. Susan will share with us her insights about Los Angeles and people who live here. Hello, Susan.
Hello, Maria. Nice to speak with you, my friend.
Nice to speak with you as well. I'm so glad you found the time for our interview today. And I have a few questions to you. So my first question would be, what is your Los Angeles? How would you describe the vibe and energy of the city from your perspective?
For me, LA, it's like, when you're in a really stuffy room and you open up a window and you can breathe, it's like, it's that kind of feeling for me because it's so creative, it's so open-minded, it's got, tons of opportunity and choices, things like that. So it feels like, I can breathe and I can, just be who I am, that kind of feeling. So, there are downsides to LA. Would you like me to get into that or
Of course,
not?
please do.
Because there's only one, and it's so obvious. It's crazy. If you've been there in the past, 10, 15 years, it's just gotten really crowded. Yeah. It's best to live in or close by to a neighborhood that supports you. It supports probably three things, like who you are, how you want to live, and what do you want to do. So it could be Hollywood, obviously, Silver Lake, Venice, if you're into art, be near the studios if you came here to work. And I'm assuming a lot of people who came here for that, the business, downtown, the choices are endless. And that's really what LA is for me. It's pretty simple.
Yes. And you have lived here for like almost 50 years. So how do you think the city has changed over this time?
I think just in that regard, I think it's pretty answered. I wish I could, come up with something more clever. I'm kidding.
So the only way.
It's very clean for me, the feeling I have. It's everything is possible, and it makes me look up, and it makes me just a happy being. It feels like home. You know what I'm saying? That nice, warm, this is it.
So maybe you can tell us a little bit more about your journey as a marriage and family therapist in Los Angeles and what inspired you to pursue this career and what has your journey been like?
This is another goodie. Okay. Well, I'm going to start out by saying that I love being a marriage and family therapist in Los Angeles. I love the work. I guess the little bit I know of you, I guess like you, I'm just a helper by nature. I was just born that way. It's not by design to making my living as an artist. And it was lovely. It was fun, but it wasn't, this felt like this is it. I just love to help and connect and really have the head. I just understand people. It just brings me joy and meaning. And yeah, for visual people out there. No, for the people that I'm very visual. I was always the kid in school, like not really paying attention. I was just always looking around, trying to figure out everybody's world. So, there would be, I remember this kid next to me, he had a hearing aid on. What's that like, And then, my favorite was the girl with the hickey on her neck, those love bite things. And her boyfriend, I used to just look, and it was just it was fascinating to me. I never really listened in school, obviously, to what was being taught. And I don't know about you, but I still to this day don't know what a prepositional phrase is or something crazy like that. I don't, anyhow, but truly I'm forever fascinated by everyone's gifts and everybody's different challenges and beauty and how unique everyone is. Yet we're all so interdependent and deeply connected, and it's quite a beautiful dance, actually. I love working with creative people, and that's obviously what LA is for me. Painters, dancers, everybody's got lots of people have different jobs, but but people who think out of the box and all things are possible, and even with frustrations and pitfalls. I love helping restore balance in this population and deepen a connection with themselves, because it's really easy to get pulled out of who you are, and also the connection to others, and help them live from a place of purpose. Some people just don't know, where am I going kind of feeling.
Right.
It continues to be a really wonderful journey. And I guess the last thing I want to say is whatever gifts I may have imparted to any client, to my clients, I've truly received back tenfold. It's just a beautiful, beautiful thing.
There is a notion that Los Angeles is a very lonely city where people struggle with loneliness. So do you think it's a correct observation?
Yes, you bet. Yes, 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 yes. Since COVID, I've been working remotely. And, again, I've been in private practice for over 40 years. That's a long, long time. I'm 106. No, and much like a lot of you, I really feel isolated. So personally, I recently decided to join up with a group of practitioners. Mine is called the Holistic Counseling Center. They're lovely. And truly, I just did it for the community. But I feel like I've lucked out, and I feel like I'm a puppy who's found the perfect home. It's the sweetest feeling ever. And although I've had friends and colleagues in this field forever, it's good to be like-minded, and yet everybody shines in different ways. And they really align who I am and really, really care about one. After practicing a lot of years, there's a little bit of a glibness from some practitioners or doctors or whatever. And these folks, they care. It's great. So they're really heart-centered and very natural in their approach. Not that I'm against drugs, but, it's nature. It's more that I like to get to the root of the problem instead of just the symptoms. You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
Well, my arm hurts. Well, here's a pill, or here's this or that. And I don't mean to glib myself, but there's a reason, because I honor the mind, body, spirit, and helping people. I guess this really just came to me, helping people take ownership of their lives and sharing that joy with people who feel the same. That infuses me with life. Loneliness, I just think as I said earlier, it's prevalent here. I'm glad we slid into this. The city it's physically spread out, so obviously we're in our cars constantly, and of course I look out the window, because I always do things like that, and people are shaving. But it's crazy. You just stop, and it's very, very isolating just living like that. I find this can be fiercely competition can feel fierce. Let's put that in there. It's not for all, but for some. I know you experience in your field or in your observation, especially people in the business. So it's really, 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 in my opinion, easy to look outside ourselves and see what we perceive people want, so we can get that part or land that job or that kind of thing. So it can be a breeding ground, and this is what you were asking as well. So I said, let's slide into this. It's a breeding ground for eating disorders and alcohol and drug abuse, things like that, unnecessary plastic surgery. I'm not against eating and drinking and, whatever, but to just numb things or to try to fit in. And of course, psychologically, there's self-judgment and comparisons of all kinds. And there are all kinds of addictions. There's just addictive behaviors. Sometimes I find myself, I'll take care of this, I'll take care of that, compulsively busy. And addictions to cell phones and social media. I've been getting so much of that. Addictions in relationships, they're addictive relationships and compulsive behaviors and all kinds of things. And so it can really, really pull us out of ourselves. It can be circumstantial, and that's appropriate, to grieve, to mourn, to loss, and then this is the stuff I wanted to talk about, is the self-generated isolation. I'm big on this, but if you can, and it's safe, leave your cell phones behind when you can. Give that a whirl. Some people can't do that. Sometimes I just have them shut it off when they're home, and we start with a half an hour, something like that. But if you can get it up to long periods of time, and unless you're waiting for an emergency thing, but it's about what else would you do? What would you do with that? And it's tough. Certainly, let's go to some fixes. You can certainly start by changing up some patterns. So if you watch Netflix or they do Facebook alone every night, change it up. Video, chat a friend, go out more with people when you can. chat with strangers if you don't feel like you have the time. Just, say hello. That's nice. With people in the eye. People and ask people questions because it's so interesting what people do.
Mhm.
It's beautiful. You go, wow, I never thought of that. How do you brush teeth for dogs? You do that for a living, or whatever. I just made that up. Just look people in the eye and be with themselves. You can always, there's a whole list that I'm sure anybody knows. You can give and contribute and donate and volunteer. Well, those are rich experiences if that's, or even if you have two of something, you know what I'm saying? Yes.
Yes, of course, of course. And I liked how you mentioned that there is a lot of competition in Los Angeles because it's such a large city and a lot of people come here to make their dreams come true. And, the effect of competition on loneliness. So, how do you think people can deal with this competitive nature within themselves and try not to isolate themselves from others?
Well, I think it's an inner job. That's a great question. I think that's an inner job of what do we do?
Mhm.
It's never a difference between like doing yoga and like being yoga, doing mindfulness exercises or just being mindful. It's just a shift. I think there's so many things to do. I mean, when you go out in nature, there's so many offerings to you all the time. Like the foods that nature provides. It's filled with life forms. I'm not saying when I work with eating disorders, let's say, I don't take food away from people. Okay, no this, no that, no this, no that. I mean, we might work to it, but I add. So fill up with oranges, fills up with colors. If you wear colors, there are colors that boost joy, like red, yellow, purple, orange, as I mentioned. There are colors to do passions and addictions, like blues and greens, whites and pinks. You can redecorate your house. You can wear some of these clothes. You could eat some of these foods. This is the media's thing I think I have to offer. They're just, foods that reduce anxiety and depression. Avocados and if you're vegan, walnuts, but walnuts are good for everyone. Leafy green vegetables, obviously, we know that's healthy, but it, has folic acid and things that calm you down and lift or balance you, I should say, complex carbohydrates. Some people can't take too many carbs, but if it's not white bread, there's ways to eat that, the fatty fishes like salmon, all that stuff, depending on your diet. There's so many things you can do. Plus, if it's your craft, getting back to people in the business, take a class. Get more training, or just hang out with friends and create things together. So, if you meditate or you can howl at the moon if you like. The idea is laugh, laugh your head off. Yeah, that's a visual, yes.
Yes.
Have some fun. I dare to wear a clown nose to your next showing of your, property. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
This happened this morning, so I'll just take it. Like in my house, my partner and I, every time we hear a truck backing up, no matter where we are in our house or in our place, we have to walk backwards, when they back up, beep, 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 they were doing one of those.
Mhm.
And he was on his way to the bathroom. It was like, oh no, I have to back up. I'm like, well, turn around, back up, back in there, that kind of thing. But anyhow, all this will help you, with loneliness and to help you hold things just more loosely. Nothing is really life and deathy unless it's a major life and deathy thing.
Right. Yes, it totally makes sense. Yes, absolutely. Well, let's move to another question. And it's a question about newcomers. A lot of people come to LA to pursue their dreams, as I mentioned earlier, especially in the movie industry. What advice
Yes.
would you give to these people to help them get settled and find their ground? Maybe there are some common pitfalls that they should be aware of.
Yes. These are brilliant questions, Marie. Truly.
Thank you.
I think the first thing that comes to mind when I hear the question is don't sell out. And what I mean is compromise, yes. We all compromise to get things done, to work in harmony with one another. Compromise, yes. The soul compromise, no. I mean, no. So whatever you do, let's take acting. Whatever you decide to do it for the right reasons. So say you're never as famous as Brad Pitt or Ryan Gosling or Meryl Streep, Emma Stone, man, woman, whatever you're feel, but you had to make a living or even do side jobs at times, supplement, living.
Mm-hmm.
Would you do it anyway? If you're going for it because you must, because you love it so much and because everything in your soul wants it, that's the stuff. Then you're a star. Okay. Even through the pitfalls. And they're not fun, but they don't really matter. And it doesn't mean you can't sustain it at all times. It's like when you're in a relationship with someone, you have to nourish it. You have to keep feeding it. Can't just stand still. So we all need to nourish our commitments and recommit to our passions at times as well.
Mm-hmm. So my next question is, what are some misconceptions that people have about living in Los Angeles, and how did these misconceptions impact their mental health and expectations?
Expectations is a setup. I think it's a trap, and misconceptions certainly. Like what comes to mind, if you're new here, you come to a place and it's a place of milk and honey, or things will fall into my lap, or there may be something like that in there. I just kind of have that one. It's a great city, but truly, Los Angeles is still a city. It's just a place.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just, it's a trap. It's set up for disappointment, for sure, for frustration, and it leads to self-judgment, depression, just like loneliness. It can produce anxiety. It separates us from one another. Most importantly, and I think this is the key, is it robs us of self-love. And I don't mean narcissistic love. I mean, being okay. You want to be able to look people in the eye because you're present, you're here.
Mm-hmm.
So again, you know why you come, and even if it doesn't pan out for you, it doesn't matter, because at least you gave it your best shot, and that's something you can be proud of. And at least you had some good weather, and you got to get out of Milwaukee or wherever you live. And that's kind of how I feel.
Yes. Very true. Very true. And it's the same as like wherever you are. I remember I climbed Kilimanjaro one time, and I knew that there was no guarantee that I would get to the top. So, and wherever
Yes.
I was on every single day, so it was like a 6-day track, every day I knew that at that point, on that day, I was the highest that I will ever be. And I think this is the same with life, that you never know whether there is any kind of imaginary top that you're trying to get to.
Yeah.
But wherever you are in your life at this point is the highest that you have ever been or will ever will be. And then
Yes.
next day gives you another opportunity. And I think this is a very good metaphor for people to accept where they are in their lives at this moment, giving their best shot, as you said.
Yes, beautiful.
And Susan, my last question to you, if you could change one thing about Los Angeles to improve mental well-being of the residents, what would it be?
Can you give me like 3-4 minutes to answer this? Because I think I'd rather give you guys an experience. May I do that?
Of course, please
Answer
do.
your question instead of more talk.
Of course.
Okay. It only takes a few moments. Just close your eyes. Obviously, if you're driving in the car, stop shaving and do it later.
Mm-hmm.
But think about someone you love, anybody. It could be even a pet, some pet, some person that you just love. I will stop talking, but just take 30 seconds and think about where in your body you feel the love and what it feels like and how they make you feel. Open your eyes. So what you just did, Maria, and whoever else I'm talking with, you just kicked in a chemical. So every thought has a chemical to it. This one is called oxytocin. I can never say toxin, but dopamine. You've all heard of dopamine.
Mm-hmm.
These chemicals make us feel good. Last thing. Now close your eyes one last time and think about your craft. Doesn't matter what that looks like. Whatever comes to mind is perfect. And think about why you love it so much, doing what you do, being a part of what you're a part of. More seconds and feel it in your body. Now open your eyes again. Well, I guess in closing, I just want to say, be here. And as you said, enjoy Mount Kilimanjaro. Enjoy the ride. And if you need me or want to reach me, I give my number. And if it's not me you want to see or talk with, I can connect you. I'm at 310-498-2344. That's it. Anything else or? I don't know how long we've got. So
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Susan. Thank you for this beautiful conversation, and thank you for,
yeah,
discussing all this interesting psychological issues that the city of Los Angeles might have. And oftentimes it's not talked about, and oftentimes, people, just try to isolate and deal with it on their own. But at least I think through this interview, they will be aware that there is always help and that in the end, they're never alone. They just need to open up and make the first step. And the first step is always accepting themselves and then reaching out for help.
couldn't have said it better myself. Yeah, baby. Very well done.
Thank you, Susan. Thank you for your time. Thank you for the conversation. I'll talk to you soon.
Enjoy your day, everybody.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, darling.
Thank you very much for tuning in to get a glimpse of the captivating history of the people who have shaped Los Angeles with my special guest, Susan Pomeranz. If you enjoy my podcast, In the Mood for California, please sign up for future episodes at your preferred platform, and please leave your feedback. I really appreciate your time and support. You can follow me on Instagram at In the Mood for California and check out my website www.inthemoodforcalifornia.com. I'm a realtor with Beverly & Company Luxury Properties, and my license number is 019-78714. Selling and buying homes with soul is not just my real estate strategy. It is an intuitive and holistic approach that embraces your values, aspirations, and conscious intentions. If you want to discover the power of mindfulness in your real estate journey with my compassionate guidance, I'm here for you. In the next episode, we'll immerse ourselves in the world of Villa Aurora, a Mediterranean gem in Pacific Palisades. Get ready for an enriching journey as we uncover its fascinating history and unique charm. I'm so excited to take you along on this adventure. See you at Villa Aurora.
In the Mood for California. Feel the soul of Old Hollywood.